Good morning, Paloma. Are you gonna help us talk about flying today? Come here. You wanna step up? Yeah. Yes, I see. A morning constitutional. Okay. This morning, Paloma is flying around some, and I wanted to talk to you about the importance of letting your parrot develop their ability to fly. Hi, I'm Kaylin, the author of The Parrot Bliss Bond. Please be sure to get your copy on Amazon so that you have your handbook to help you know everything you need to provide a quality life for your parrot so that you have quantities of bliss when they eat the camera. Yeah, now how am I going to put you in the film? Huh? That is Macy, our female Cape, who is about 3 years old, and this is Paloma, who is about 10 or 11 weeks old. Paloma, other than eating my plant, which I don't want her to, has started to fly. It's interesting. I've watched videos where people talk about teaching their baby bird to fly. I've never had to teach a bird to fly. Like everybody else, Paloma just spread her wings and kind of acted like she always knew how. It's so important to let a human or a parrot develop appropriately. Of course, now that the camera's on her, she's not gonna fly because my parrots like to do that to me. But anyway, that doesn't even count. That was so little, it doesn't even count. Paloma is astonishing us because she's developing some flight, and she's just doing things like landing like an expert or hovering and changing direction midair. The thing is, she's only flown like 20 times, and you're like, oh my God, how can she be so good already? Part of the reason is because we haven't clipped her wings. I was fortunate she did not come with her wings clipped, and she has therefore been able to naturally just spread her wings and fly. Side note, you'll notice that while we're letting the girls be together completely supervised, we're really monitoring so that Macy doesn't hurt Paloma. Generally speaking, with parrots, adults are not nice to babies unless it's their baby and they've been raising them, kind of thing. So that's just something to be aware of, because if you ever get a baby, you don't want to just let them be with a adult parrot unsupervised. Okay, come on, Paloma, show off. It's, I think, very noteworthy to say that, for example, we have two macaws. One's a Harlequin macaw, one's a Catalina. The Harlequin macaw was never clipped. I asked that she not be clipped when we got her, and they honored that. She did the same. She spread her wings and she flew I was like, oh, I got to start to put her in a cage. She's going to fly out of her bin. And sure enough, I was preparing her cage and she was flying out of her bin. I think I got a video of that. If you look at my older videos, I think you'll see it on there. Our Harlequin now lives out here in our back enclosed area. I'm going to say this back enclosed area is, 60 feet by 40 feet. That's like me just guessing from the top of my pretty little head kind of thing, and being interrupted by my cat. Okay, Paloma was flying, and now she's not flying for you. But the Harlequin, she comes out here and she just flies around and swoops elegantly, kind of like that. And I will post in the comments a link to a video of her flying around. It's incredible. She flies gracefully and elegantly. Oh, look at that. We have a Florida visitor out there. Do you see the look at that beautiful bird, a crane. Anyway, so the Harlequin just flies. That's Cammie. She flies incredibly. She is doing really some recall training with my husband here, and he'll call to her and she comes back, and I mean they play, and she just, you know, gently tilts her wing and changes directions, and it's incredible. It's beautiful to see. Whereas Kailani, the Catalina macaw, unfortunately came clipped, and basically in under 20 flights, the truth is this little girl flies better. Thank you for finally flying for them. She flies better than Kailani. And Kailani is now 2.5 years old. And there's no reason she shouldn't be able to fly, because she has, like I said, this big space to practice in, to fly in. That cage is a perch, although sometimes the macaw likes to go, Kailani likes to go in and perch on the stick in there and just rest. But, oh, and you could see the 2 of our kikes up there. Good morning, kikis. So there's no reason that Kailani wouldn't be able to fly like a pro. There's our Mexican red-headed Ursulus. And instead, since Kailani wasn't really given the time to develop herself properly, it's costing her a lot more effort, and basically the muscles aren't developed, and now the development time has passed, and trying to develop those muscles is a lot harder for her. So really understanding where a parrot's at, watching them, seeing what they're doing, and helping them be able to do that development. For example, you know, one of the things the babies do is they start flapping their wings. They don't fly, they don't do anything, and then all of a sudden they're flapping their wings like crazy. So that means they're starting to really practice flying, they're starting to develop those muscles, and they need a big enough space, whatever they're in, a bin or a cage, that really allows them to stretch those wings. And big enough means at least 2 times in depth and 3 times in width and height for their wingspan. So it just makes all the difference, and then your parrot very easily and effortlessly will develop some incredible flying abilities. I want to see if we can get her. Come here, Paloma. Come here, sweetie. Let's see if we can get Paloma just to fly for you. Just a little. Can you fly just a little? Just a little. Let me see if I can cajole her. Do you want to add something? Come here. And it's incredible because she flies to us, she flies up, she hovered, but not on camera.
I just wanted to say that one reason why it's important, and Caitlin was speaking about, is that like humans, animals and parrots and all birds, they go through developmental stages, and when they're at a certain age, they're meant to develop certain abilities and certain muscles develop. And of course, flying is one of the fundamental things birds learn. If they get clipped too soon, which often pet stores tend to do, they'll go through that development stage and not learn to fly. The better way to do it, if you're able, and I understand that you're not always able to do that because you may acquire a bird that's been clipped already, is to let them learn how to fly when they're young, like this little girl is, and then once they've learned how to fly and develop their muscles the way they should, you can start clipping them in stages to so that, and we have a couple birds like that now where they're able to fly, but we slightly clip their wings, and that way they're not going to fly off or fly away, but they're also able to escape when they need to, and they're able to go from cage to cage by flying. They wouldn't be able to fly up into a tree, but they use their flying skills, but by clipping them in a little bit, and you can adjust how much you clip the bird they'll still be able to fly, they'll be able to exercise, and of course flying is such an important exercise for a bird. And they'll be much more healthy all the way around. We have some older Africans that we adopted. We don't know their age, but obviously some of them are old, never learned how to fly, and they never will. There's nothing we could do at this point. And they, not only are they unable to fly, but they, because of that, they don't get the exercise either. And so it's just an important thing. If you're able to let the young bird learn how to fly like that, once they've learned how to fly now, when she's a little bit, you know, it could be in that we decide in 2 or 3 weeks that we want to clip her wings slightly so she doesn't get herself in trouble and fly off or fly into things like a window or something like that. They usually learn that very quickly not to do that. But all of our birds, we like to let them have the ability to fly, and then if we need to just curtail their fly a little bit, you just clip accordingly after that.
Here's an example of actually someone who has just a little clipped, and if you notice, you almost can't tell, although his feathers don't cross in the back, so he is a little clipped, and he can still fly just fine, but he's a little clipped just so that he doesn't go and bother the other Amazon, which he does anyway. but that was the intent. Otherwise, right now, I'm not sure if anyone else is clipped.
Tessie is a little bit.
No, we didn't clip Tessie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nope. So
Or maybe he came clipped.
he came clipped. He
That's
came
why he can't
clipped.
fly real well.
That's why and he's learning to fly. Along those lines, I want to emphasize that, did you see that? Did you see how effortlessly she just glides up? She knows where she's going. I mean, it's incredible. She just hasn't flown enough to know, and we're just in awe of this little girl who's not 3 months old and already, I think, owns half the world. But I wanted to say, they really do learn about glass quickly. One of the things that I'll do is I'll go like this, and they really start to kind of get that it's solid. So much so, incredibly, that Macy here will fly in and out of the house at her leisure. So in the mornings when we're out here, we leave the door, the sliding glass door open that much. And we're only out here for 20 minutes, something like that. But she will come and go at her leisure. Sometimes she wants to go back in the house, and she just flies right back in the house. So at this point, she can see the difference between the door being opened and closed, and she has enough ability to maneuver her flight that she can turn the corner and get right in there, and and it's just a wonderful thing. Unfortunately, she also came clipped, but her feathers grew out. I adopted her when she was like, I forget. We've had her for a year, so 2.5-ish, and I don't know her history. I don't know whether or not she had been flying, but I'm guessing she had been because she was a pretty good flyer. So once her wings grew out and you could see how they're crossed in the back, then she really has been able to maneuver. See, they're totally crossed in the back. You could see that right there. And that's where they're really, that's why she can fly. You can also see the ones that are cut right there. Those just haven't replaced yet. And so even though, so it's just taken a little while for them to grow back. One of the things that happens is, my observation is that smaller parrots and younger parrots' feathers replace faster, they molt more often, and that older parrots, they may even molt at the same intervals, but what happens is that I don't think they molt as many feathers because the older parrots just don't seem to replace feathers as quickly when they're clipped. All right, now right up there is Tesla, and somewhere in there, you could see, okay, there's Quantum. You could kind of see a silhouette. They're both eating the little pine seeds. They just love them. And of course, we really like for them to be able to fly, and they often choose to just fly right on up there in the morning. get a little sun, get some breakfast, and call it a wrap, which is what we will do now. Thank you for watching the ads. Don't forget to get your bottle of must-have Tink CBD oil, the Parrot Relief. The perfect oil because it's natural, because it's not going to make your parrot trip or anything like that. But if your parrot is stressed for any reason, it's going to help your parrot de-stress. Or if you want to help strengthen their immune system, offer some support to their immune system, it's great stuff. You could just put a drop on their favorite treat kind of thing and call it a wrap. If you have any comments or questions, please be sure to comment below or on parrotbliss.com, where you can also get Tink's Parrot Relief, or on the Facebook, Instagram Messenger. And you can also join us at Parrot Bliss Flock on Facebook groups. Thank you for joining this blissful flying video that had less flying the minute I turned the camera on. That's the way it goes. We'll see you next time.